Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing a new for 2022 dial option. This is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Datejust, 36 millimeters in steel and white gold. This is reference 126234. Taking a quick look at the case, 36 millimeters in diameter. It's 11.6 millimeters thick. From lug tip to lug tip, the case alone is 43.5 millimeters. If we include the end links of the bracelet, it is 45.2 millimeters across the wrist with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now we'll throw this watch on my wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference and it's a good fit. It's not broad. You can see the lugs are nowhere near the edge of my wrist, and that's also obvious from over the top. Low enough to fit underneath the cuff. You can use it as a dress watch. It's suitable for him or for her, and it'll fit well on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. It uses alloys of Rolex's own making. Rolex has its own foundry. It makes its own gold and steel. Its gold is gray gold, a white gold 18-karat alloy that's white all the way through and never needs to be rhodium plated. The steel is 904L steel, and of course Rolex makes its cases, bracelets, and clasps here primarily of 904, which is more corrosion resistant than the standard 316 used elsewhere in the industry. In particular, it's resistant against body sweat and sea salt. Now, it's a tapered design with a little conforming end link to better mate the bracelet to the case. The center links are polished, the outer faces are polished, the shoulder links are satinated. We have removable links on both sides of the clasp, fixed in place by screws. We have an easy link, 5 millimeter snap-in, snap-out, tool-free adjustment. And then if you look inside the clasp, you can see that there are actually 3 pairs of divots, and there's a spring bar, so you can use your strap tool to adjust the bracelet through 3 anchoring points inside the clasp to change its stationing and adjust the fit. We have a beak and a hook. And this is actually a spring-loaded lift lock system, so when it latches shut, it's locked. You can't just pry it open. You do need to lift to unlock, so there's a degree of security there that a lot of folks don't know about. The clasp is a combination of polish and satin, quite attractive. The case is all high polish. It's got tapered, lovely lines. It's not the super case that you find on some of the aggressive sports watches. It has more in common with the Yachtmaster, the Daytona, and the Day-Date. Now, the crown is a twin lock screw down, along with the Oyster screwed-in case back, endowing the watch with 100-meter water resistance. The dial is a mint green sunburst. So this mint green metallic option was added for the 2022 model year, and it's lovely, it's subtle. It's not quite Rolex corporate green, it's a variation on it. It almost has blue or teal undertones. The hands, the crown, as well as the indices are all white gold because over time they will not tarnish, oxidize, or react to moisture and oxygen. Taking a quick look, we can appreciate that Rolex's proprietary Chromolite blue lume, which is made in-house, gives this watch plenty of personality. There is a Cyclops eye, which makes it easy to read the date even from a distance. And then inside the case, we have Rolex manufactured caliber 3235. It's the same movement you'll find in Submariners and Sea Dwellers. It is a real sports watch movement that is highly anti-magnetic thanks to a niobium zirconium hairspring, highly shock resistant thanks to a winding rotor ball bearing, a full balance bridge, and a free-sprung balance. It's certified as a Swiss chronometer as a bare movement, then cased up, where Rolex double-checks the fully assembled watch to run no worse than -2 + 2 seconds per 24 hours. It pivots on 31 joules. It beats at 4 hertz. It has that 72-hour power reserve, and between the water resistance, the anti-magnetism, and the shock resistance, it is a highly refined sports watch movement in a watch that could be described as a sports watch, dress watch hybrid. And finally, the hairspring, which is anti-magnetic, is a hand-formed Breguet overcoil, so in any position on your wrist, on your dresser at night, or during its many chronometer trials, this watch will keep consistent time regardless of position. There's a quick set for the date and a hacking function to stop the seconds hand. Even the shock protection, Paraflex, and the very lubricants are made in-house by Rolex. This is a true manufacturer product. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.